The recruit and the beast asterisk. The rain poured heavily over the jungle training base. Thunder rumbled above, and water soaked every corner of the muddy field. New recruits stood in lines, shivering, boots sinking in the wet ground, but no one cared about the weather. They were too scared of something else. Recruits had started disappearing at night. No one saw or heard anything. Just silent tents, empty beds by morning, and blood in the leaves. Everyone whispered about a creature, something wild and fast. Some believed it was a test from command. Others thought it was something that escaped from deep inside the jungle. Whatever it was, it only hunted at night. It moved without sound, killed without mercy, and left no tracks. The older recruits carried rifles in their sleep, but that didn't help the last one who vanished. Then came her, a human girl, the youngest in the group. She was small, quiet, and didn't talk much. She had no scars, no war medals, just a simple bag and a calm face. Most laughed when she joined. They thought she would be the first to go, but they were wrong, very wrong. That night, the thing came again. Low growls moved between the tents, eyes glowed in the darkness, and a scream was cut off halfway. The whole camp froze. No one dared step outside, except her. She stood up slowly, grabbed a small knife, and walked into the trees, alone, with no armor, no gun. Everyone thought she had gone mad. She disappeared into the black jungle. For hours, no one slept. They waited for another scream, another death, but nothing came. No sounds, no movement, just silence. Then, at dawn, she returned. Her uniform was torn, her face scratched, and blood marked her arms. But she was alive, and she wasn't alone. Behind her walked a massive creature. Its body was black like shadow, with spikes down its back and glowing yellow eyes. It looked like a monster from a nightmare. Even the bravest soldiers stepped back, in fear, but the beast didn't attack. It sat beside her, calm and still. Like it had known her for years. The commanding officer aimed his weapon and shouted, "Step away from it," but the girl raised her hand and spoke. "Don't shoot," she said quietly. "He's mine now." No one moved. The creature growled once. A deep sound that made every soldier freeze. Then it lowered its head, resting beside the girl's boots. She stood there like a ghost out of legend, not a victim, but a master of the wild. Rumors began spreading instantly. Some said she had powers, others said she made a deal with the jungle. The truth was simpler. She didn't find the beast. She tamed it, and from that day forward, no one called her weak again. She was no longer just a human recruit. She was the one who walked with the deadliest predator on the planet. Fear in their eyes, asterisk. Every squad at the base avoided her. Even the loudest soldiers lowered their voices when she walked by. She was no longer just a human girl in training. She was something else now, something that made even trained killers nervous. The creature never left her side. It followed her like a shadow, silent and alert. Its huge claws scraped the ground as it walked. Its fur moved like smoke in the wind, and its golden eyes watched everything. She didn't speak much. She trained alone, while others ran drills with partners. She walked into the jungle with the beast. They returned together every time. No bruises, no wounds, just silence. The officers didn't know what to do with her. They couldn't punish her. She had broken no rules. But the creature scared them. It made the base feel like a cage. With her as the key, one night, security alarms blared. A camera picked up movement at the far fence. A rogue alien beast, bigger than anything on record, was heading toward the base. It had wiped out an entire squad in less than 5 minutes. And now it was coming straight at them. The soldiers scrambled to take position. Turrets turned on. Lights lit up the field, but deep inside, everyone felt fear. The kind of fear that training couldn't erase. She watched from the edge of the base, quiet, still. Her beast was already growling. But it wasn't growling at the enemy, it was waiting for her command. Without a word, she stepped forward. She walked through the gate, alone again, no armor, no weapon, just her and the creature. The alien monster stopped in its tracks. It stood tall, muscles bulging, tusks gleaming with blood. It had killed many, but now it hesitated. Something about her presence made it unsure. She raised her hand slowly. The jungle wind moved her hair. And her beast stepped beside her, eyes locked on the threat. There was no fear in either of them, only control. The alien beast growled, but then it stopped. It looked at her, at the black beast beside her. And then it did something no one expected. It backed away. Step by step, the enemy creature retreated. Then it turned and vanished into the trees. The base was silent. No one cheered. No one spoke. They were too shocked. She turned and walked back. Inside, the gate closed behind her. Soldiers lowered their rifles, eyes wide. She didn't explain anything. She didn't need to. From that day forward, they stopped calling her recruit. No one laughed, no one questioned her. They called her commander, even though she had no rank, because respect can't be ordered, it must be earned, and she had earned it in silence. With a monster at her side, and a heart no one could break. The final test, they gave her a mission no one else wanted. Deep in the northern jungle, a research team had gone silent. All contact lost. No distress signal, just silence. Command sent drones, none returned. Everyone feared the worst. The jungle there was known as the Red Zone. A place filled with ancient threats, creatures older than records. No patrol had ever returned from it, but she said yes without hesitation. She didn't ask for backup, she didn't ask for gear. All she needed was her beast, the one that had followed her into every shadow and storm. And together, they disappeared into the trees. For 2 days, there was no word, not even a signal. Some thought they were dead, some believed they never intended to return. But on the 3rd day, the sky turned red. Smoke rose from the jungle like black waves, flames touched the sky, and the trees shook as if the world was angry. Then came a sound no one could forget, a deep roar like thunder inside the bones. Out of the trees, they came. She walked with a torn uniform, blood on her face, but her eyes were calm. Her beast was covered in burns, wounds on its side, but it walked tall beside her. Behind them, 5 survivors stumbled forward. Scientists, weak and broken, but alive. She had found them in a cave, trapped and hunted. And she didn't run, she fought. For 2 days, she and her beast held off the nightmare that lived there. It was no normal creature, it was something ancient. Massive, with scales of stone and a mouth that split open in 4. It attacked with fire, hunted with silence. But she had something it didn't understand. She had loyalty. When the command asked her how she survived, she gave a simple answer. He fought with me, not for me. And she looked at her beast. The deadly predator, who once hunted humans like prey. Now, it limped beside her like a friend. A soldier who shared the pain. She wasn't just a commander anymore, she was a legend. Stories of her spread across units and worlds. New recruits whispered her name during night drills. They spoke of the girl who tamed a monster. The human who walked through fire with a predator. At her side, she didn't need armor or loud words. Her silence was enough. When medals were offered, she refused. When they asked her to lead squads, she said no. All she wanted was to patrol the wilds, to stay near the jungle, to be free with the one who chose her. Because in the end, she was never just a recruit, she was proof that the strongest bond is not made through fear or force, it is made through trust. Through standing firm when the world says run, and as long as that bond held, no enemy, no beast, no war could ever break her, because she didn't walk alone. She walked with the deadliest predator on the planet, and together, they were unstoppable.